Hey, Kai-Cenat, come look at this real quick for me. I agree, Mr. Kai-Cenat. Let's talk some Zhu Yuan and how we can make this whole bakery into a ruthless shooting machine. Welcome to your full guide on Zhu Yuan with timestamps below for kit breakdown, build, and then best teams and combo lines. This is your one-stop shop to all things Zhu Yuan. Right before we start, did you know that we're doing a Zhu Yuan $100 poll session giveaway? That's right, proxies. By watching all the way through, subscribing, and commenting below, you could get a chance to win a poll session with Joshua, yours truly, which will be streamed live on Twitch. So after you're done here, go follow us there too. Now on to the main attraction. Let's start breaking down Zhu Yuan, the most caked up squad leader of NEPs. While Zhu Yuan might look pretty, she's ready to rain down that blue justice, if you know what I mean. Her kit is actually quite simple, so let's give you the scoop. For Zhu Yuan, her main gimmick is her enhanced shot shells, which will allow her to enhance her basic attacks with ether damage. Currently in 1.0, she'll be the only character aside from Nicole that deals in ether. She has a 5-hit auto attack chain, and after her third, moving into her fourth and fifth shot, she will gain a stack of shot shells, one per rotation. So basically after 4 auto attacks, she'll be gaining 1 stack of shot shell. There are 2 other actions that can be performed with your normals. First is a charge attack that fires off 3 shot shells, and the benefit to this is that if you have 1 shot shell point, the attack will be enhanced with ether. By holding charge, you can go into her 5-hit combo barrage called the suppressive mode, by which she'll consume shot shells in order to dish out crazy ether damage. And just for reference, her regular auto chain is called the assault mode, versus this 5 auto chain that is enhanced with shot shells and does ether damage. The whole goal for Zhu Yuan is to gain at least 5 of these shells to go into a full 5 auto chain full of shot shells like so. And lastly, for the normals, if you dash attack whilst gliding, you can perform a rolling normal attack called Firepower Offensive, a great tool to readjust your position and deal damage so as to not pull the foot off the DPS pedal. Moving on to dodges, like how she's going to be dodging me when I try to pull on her banner. Zhu Yuan has the ability to consume a stack of shot shell to deal the overwhelming firepower, slightly different from the firepower offensive earlier, as that adds an additional directional input. Other than that, Zhu Yuan's other portions of her dodge are pretty standard to attacking characters, albeit she does have a very prominent animation for each dodging direction, making her very visually pleasing to dance with. Now the assists are where Zhu Yuan levels up, because she can gain up to 3 stacks by assist follow-up, or even just 1 stack via quick assisting a support character. Pretty neat. And again, the faster you build up these stacks, the more ether damage you'll be dishing out with suppressive mode. Zhu Yuan's special, hey, not that special. Her special attack, called the Buckshot Blast, can be fired up to 3 times. Basically, you'll just be spamming or holding E, or whatever button for controller, to shoot in succession. The difference with the regular special NEX is that she becomes invulnerable in the succession state, and she'll gain 3 stacks of shot shell. So it's almost advised that you wait till you gain your 60 energy, which is very easily obtainable via on-field battle or even support batteries like Nicole. And lastly, the magnum opus, the piece de resistance, is her chain ultimate, the eradication mode. I don't know where these extra perks are coming from, but she basically turns this game into Call of Duty, additionally adding every attachment under the sun, and executes with the power of freedom and democracy to wipe out anything in sight. This bite and blast of an ult will deal up to 3,600% at level 12, and of course set you up with 3 shot shells to use for your next rotation of offense. Later down the road, we'll discuss how to properly manage her shot shell stacks. But if you're impatient, please use the timestamps below to go directly to the combat breakdown. No, I'm not sure if we can fit anything more into that bakery as is, but let's try to kit her out with some of her best W engines and drive discs. Zhu Yuan's signature, the Riot Suppressor Mark 6, has the ability to shut down foes with its solid base attack and staggering amount of crit damage in the substat. This means that you'll be wanting to run the W engines of Chaotic Metal 4 with Woodpecker 2 or 2 Puffer Electro for impact, or conversely, Woodpecker 4 if you haven't invested that much into drive discs. But these are your high-end builds. For more budget options or F2P, let's put out an ATL for the A-tier Cannon Rotor, Street Superstar, or the Nova Luna for F2Ps. When considering the main stats for drive discs, go for the crit rate as priority in slot 4. Slot 5 will be ether damage, and slot 6 will be attack. Substats to focus on are crit, attack, into pen. And hey, did you enjoy these graphics? These are my infographic guides to Zhu Yuan and more. You can find a collection of all these and more information over in our community Discord, so make sure to check out those resources and more with the link down below. And I think it's time now for the team and combo breakdowns. Let's start with their best teams, and it's actually no exaggeration that the 2 starter stun and support characters of Ambi and Nicole find themselves on the top, especially with their Cunning Hair's resonance. Nicole has the core passive that when dealing damage with the black hole, she will increase the damage dealt by ether, which directly correlates to Zhu Yuan. How neat. Other team options actually are just revolving around the stun characters like Han and Sokaku, because something that we'll get into in a second, Zhu Yuan really appreciates a great stunner to set her up with combo chains. Just like how I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button right now. But it wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention that beyond the horizon in 1.1, we are getting a few PubSec members, including Qing Yi and Seth Lowell. I'd assume one of them might be a stun character, so pairing a team up with them, Zhu Yuan and Nicole, will most likely be our most optimistic, best constructed team. Again, take this past 30 seconds with a grain of salt. First, before we lay into the land of combos, we need to talk about our core passive, Special Ops Ammunition. It's the basis of the shot shells. We mentioned earlier that these shells will be infused with ether, but also they'll deal an additional 26%. This is further enhanced when the enemy is stunned to 52%. As well, with the addition of a faction or elemental resonance, you get 30% crit rate up for 10 seconds after dishing out your special, chain, or ultimate. So with that knowledge, let's start her basic line of combos. You're going to want to start off the battle by building up daze. This can be achieved by using your stun character's E skills as well as performing almost any attack. Strong attacks like Lycon or say Sokaku's hold special are clear-cut examples. Then, after stunning, you'll be swapping into your Nicole, who will chain and proc her core passive to increase your ether damage. From there, you'll be rotating into Zhu Yuan with her chain, which will give you at least 3 shot shells for that time. And most likely, if you have your ult then and there, you'll be using your ultimate first, which will basically be back-to-back eradication mode attacks. Deadly. This will leave you with at least 6 shells in the chamber, for which you can utilize the suppressive mode to slap them with a citation of death. One thing that's quite nice about Zhu Yuan is that she's not as complex as an Ellen Jo. As with the Shark Maid, you have to be managing more than just her flash freeze. However, it is in your best interest to make sure that you have a constant flow of shot shells coming in. That means being able to assist properly and also hit those barrel rolls. Well, they're not barrel rolls, but you get my point. Zhu Yuan can outpour so much damage during her slight limited window as a burst DPS, but in order to get there, you're going to have to duck, dodge, dive, and dodge. Without her EX special as well, she doesn't have a lot of great resistances to interruption, and during suppressive mode, she can be hit out of the combo. Oh, and one huge con to Zhu Yuan is her bullet drop. Now, even though the verbiage isn't applied the same as with FPS games, there is a bullet damage drop when it comes to her ranges, so staying far away to try to deal damage at a safe distance is a no-go. This officer's got to get up close and personal to dish out her highest damage potential, which, with how many options she has to roll and still dish out damage, she will be quite the flexible and fun unit for you to play things by ear versus having a strict formula all the time. Oh, and really quick, her Mindscapes are actually quite nice. M1 allows Zhu Yuan to rotate differently with her quick load mechanic. M2 is enhanced resistance to interruption. M4 is ether resistance, ignoring for 25%. And M6 is pretty insane, allowing you to consume 12 shot shells versus the regular case and have received an effect called the Ether Afterglow, allowing your EX special to cost less and deal more damage. Personally, M1 is a perfect place to have her. And with that, we've covered most of what makes Zhu Yuan click. If you need Officer Booty on duty, this guide should get you from training camp all the way to the chief of the station. And before we go, don't forget we have our big Zhu Yuan giveaway for one lucky subscriber. We do a bunch of YouTube content, but don't forget to check us out live on Twitch for more fun streams and collabs. If I missed anything, it will be corrected in the comments. And with that, let's raise our arms to salute us out. My name is Josh, and make sure to subscribe down below and click on this next video. YouTube thinks you'll like it.